was walking through the city park that morning, my mind heavy with deadlines and meetings, when I noticed a little girl sitting alone on a bench, her small hands twisting the hem of her dress. Her eyes met mine with a mixture of hope and hesitation, and I felt an unexpected tug in my chest. "Excuse me, ma'am," she said softly, her voice almost swallowed by the wind. I don't have a mama. Can I spend a day with you?" The words were simple, innocent, but they carried a weight that made me pause mid-step. I knelt down to her level, heart pounding. "Why me?" I asked gently, curious and cautious. She shrugged, small shoulders trembling. "You look nice. You look like you can take care of me." There was no malice in her tone, only longing. I glanced around. No one was with her. No guardians, no family. My heart clenched. Here was a child, brave enough to approach a stranger, yet burdened with a loneliness I could barely imagine. I took a deep breath. "All right," I said softly. "Let's spend the day together." Her face lit up instantly, a beam of sunlight breaking through clouds. I could see the trust she placed in me, fragile yet unwavering. In that moment I realized that kindness was not just an act, but a responsibility, delicate and profound. We walked together to my office. The receptionist looked surprised, unsure how to react, but I reassured her with a smile. "She's safe. We'll just spend the day together." The little girl held my hand tightly, as though letting go might undo the magic of being seen, being chosen. Throughout the morning we explored the office. She marveled at the paintings on the walls, the way sunlight reflected off glass surfaces, and even the computers. I watched her curiosity and innocence, feeling a warmth in my chest I hadn't realized I'd been missing in my busy, calculated life. During lunch, she shared stories about her life, the hardships, the quiet moments of longing, the absence of a mother's presence. I listened without interruption, realizing that sometimes, the act of listening is the greatest kindness one can offer. We went to the nearby library afterward. She ran between the aisles, fingers tracing the spines of books as if they contained secret treasures. I let her explore, occasionally joining her, sharing quiet laughter, and watching her delight spread through the room. By afternoon, her energy began to wane. We sat on a bench outside sharing a snack. She leaned her head on my shoulder, exhaustion and comfort intertwining. I realized that our day had become more than just an outing. It had become a sanctuary, a brief reprieve from the loneliness she had carried for too long. As the day ended, we returned to the park where I had first met her. I knelt again, holding her hands. "You know," I said softly, "you can always find kindness in unexpected places. And today, you reminded me how powerful it is to see someone who needs you." She smiled, a quiet, radiant smile, and whispered, "Thank you, ma'am. I felt happy today. Like I had a mama." My chest tightened, and I realized that sometimes, acts of kindness leave the deepest marks not just on those we help, but on ourselves. A few days later, I received a call from a social worker. They had been trying to find someone to foster her, someone who could provide stability and care. I had the choice. I could step forward or let her return to the system. Without hesitation I said yes. Over the following months, I watched her grow, thrive, and blossom in ways I hadn't imagined. She laughed more freely, learned new things, and began to trust again. Every moment reminded me that compassion has a ripple effect, reaching far beyond the initial act. One evening, as we sat reading her favorite story, she looked up and said, "I'm glad I found you, ma'am. You made me feel safe." My eyes filled with tears. I realized then that true leadership and strength are not measured by power or wealth, but by empathy and courage. Sometimes the world presents opportunities to change lives quietly, without fanfare. That day in the park I learned that the smallest acts, a shared meal, a patient ear, a kind word, can shape destinies, inspire trust, and teach lessons of humanity that last a lifetime. And in the end, I understood a profound truth. Kindness is not just a gift to others, but a mirror that reflects the best of ourselves. In helping her find joy, I found a renewed sense of purpose, a reminder that compassion always comes back, sometimes in ways we never expect.